Hi, people. It's George Benson here with my friend Peter Farrell. There is no man on earth who knows more about me than this man here. He's my very good friend and has been for many years. So we put together some studies of the guitar that we think will benefit people all over the world. Different techniques, different areas of the guitar, harmonically speaking, rhythmically speaking. And Peter and I have sat down and thought about what we could do to benefit the most for our constituents out there, and that is you. So I just want you to know there's no place else where you're going to get this kind of information with that kind of depth.
Hello, my guitar friends. My name is Peter Farrell and I was George Benson's private student for more than 15 years. During this time, we have created a revolutionary guitar method that can save years of studying and also will be a game changer for your playing. We are not talking about simple books or random information. We are talking about a step-by-step methodology that can completely change your playing. I know that it looks too good to be truth, but you don't have to believe me. Believe those that have bought this amazing material and have changed their lives forever. Check this.
Peter Farrell and George Benson's guitar method is an invaluable appendium, encyclopedia, vault of information, whatever you want to call it, not only for George Benson's method, but the mindset that you need to actually achieve guitar excellence. I can assure you that the George Benson method fills in some gaps that formal music education doesn't provide. Don't think about it, just do it. Just get the books, you won't regret it, it's a good investment.
I would recommend getting all the books, but even if you can only get one at this time, it's chock full of information, and it's all real solid stuff.
I own a few of the books, and I have to tell you, I've never ever had anything that gave me the extent of knowledge and techniques that I've ever had in any other books. I was a professional musician for 30-40 years. I've played all over the world with stars and had a great career. And if you're considering about purchasing this book or these series of books, by all means do it. It'll be the best money you've ever invested. They're worth every penny.
George Benson Method books and videos are an incredible resource for any guitarist, regardless of your skill level and experience. The books are unlike anything that has been produced in literature for the guitar.
I can say that it's a treasure trove of information for anyone who spends the time and goes through all the examples. There's no other place where you'll get these lines with George's fingering and picking, and I can't recommend these books enough. I'm so glad that they're out for guitar players to discover.
I want to make clear this is no advertisement, it's only my honest opinion. I played for 35 years guitar, I studied 2 years at Berkeley, and for that I had a lot of great teachers. But believe me, this method is mind-blowing, it's outstanding, like the playing of Mr. Benson and Mr. Farrell too. So the method is a whole source of music. It's about harmony, rhythmic articulation, substitution, reharmonization techniques, it covers everything. And it's worth every penny I paid for. So maybe you want to check it out. I really recommend this, honestly.
The books will give you more melodic options than you could ever wish for. But don't be fooled into thinking that this is a quick fix. It is a lifetime of study for people who are motivated to play at a high level.
Apart from the deep knowledge contained in the George Benson Method books, each example presented contains fingering, picking, tabs, and also arrows showing some information about each part of the single line ideas. It will help you to absorb not only the melodic and rhythmic ideas, but the concept behind them. Beyond 60 years of George Benson's musical journey as a guitar player and jazz improviser, collecting knowledge, bringing new ideas, and developing a solid career, much more work was necessary to create this method. more than 100,000 hours studying George Benson every single day. An absurd of money spent with airplanes, hotels, rental cars all over the world during 15 years. 8 years producing, selecting, and improving the material 18 hours a day. 15 years studying with George Benson to decode him. 30 years studying guitar, selling all my 27 guitars, 2 cars, and doing everything to achieve the goal to be with George Benson as much as possible. These facts and much more were necessary to create the biggest, the most revolutionary guitar method ever registered, with one of the biggest names of jazz guitar on earth, Mr. George Benson. Some people might say that this is an expensive method. However, let me ask you something. How much money have you spent with gear such guitar pedals, guitars, and amplifiers? Guess what? None of those things can teach you or help you to achieve your goals with music. Also, how much money have you spent with random and cheap video lessons on internet, common methods that only teach you what scale to play in each chord? Yes, I know. But guess what? The George Benson method, it's not about that. It's a compendium of George Benson's best ideas and concepts put in a step-by-step order, which means that you will be able to incorporate those things into your playing easier than you can ever imagine.
Back here I have a library full of books of just music that I have bought through the years. And through all those books, I haven't found any books that have gave me this shared knowledge from the book. I have to say that the method worth the money. If you really want to master the guitar, if you really care about how you play and what you want to play and what you want to achieve, you should buy the books.
Comparatively speaking to other books, they might seem pricey, but I think there's more than just books that you're buying here. I think there's like a clear-cut pathway to improvisation for guitar, chords, harmonic knowledge, all the things about music, melody, harmony, rhythm, all covered. And I would recommend that to anybody who is serious about guitar and improvisation, that you would probably be doing yourself a disservice if you don't.
I've purchased tons of books and lessons from everywhere through pretty much my whole life, all the way back to VHS video. And I have quite a collection. Yet, these books from Peter are something that I've never experienced before. It's presented in a way that gives you incredible lines, but yet takes you step by step and actually lays out every finger, every pick stroke that you're going to need, that takes you all the way through what you'd want to know and learn about to be playing. If you're curious about whether or not it's worth spending the extra money to do it, I say just take the plunge and go for it.
The George Benson guitar method is a method that works. Simple. All the books can seem expensive compared to a book or a regular music method that you can find in online stores. But the George Benson guitar method is another dimension. It has nothing to do with a simple music book. What it offers and what you are going to learn is priceless.
Now think with me. How much you pay for a single Skype lesson on internet that will not offer you even 10% of one George Benson Method book? Do you really think it's worth? I don't think so. And to be honest, you won't find this information anywhere else. To give you more confidence about what I'm saying, I'd like to invite you to listen to one of the most respected jazz teachers all over the world has to say about the George Benson Method. Please welcome Mr. Andy Laverne.
Hi, I'm Andy Laverne, jazz pianist, composer, author, and educator. I received my musical education at Juilliard, the High School of Music and Art, both in New York City, Ithaca College, the Berklee College of Music, and the New England Conservatory in Boston. I also studied privately with jazz piano icon Bill Evans. I've toured, played, and recorded throughout the world with various artists, including Frank Sinatra, Neil Sedaka, Woody Herman, Stan Getz, Dave Brubeck, Chick Corea, Donald Byrd, and Elvin Jones, just to name a very few. So with all this background and all the experience that I've had, I come to you with my observations about this monumental work, the GBI Method books. I've had an opportunity to look some of them over, and I find them to be extremely thorough, concise, well laid out, easy to understand, and would be a tremendous asset to anyone who works with them. And that includes students, instructors, amateurs, and professionals alike. I think Peter's work will take its place in the musical educational field and be one of the most sought after volumes of any that I've seen thus far. So I hope this helps give you an overview of myself and my impressions of Peter's monumental work, which I think will be used for years as one of the go-to references for education in improvisatory music and jazz in particular.
As you can see, we are very serious in what we do. If you are tired of being an eternal intermediate, and if you really want to master the jazz guitar improvisation, now it's the time to leave the fail wheel you've been on for so long. Think different. Learn a new vision about jazz guitar and music. Buy the George Benson Method now.
I've never had an uptick in my playing like this. I've been playing professionally for 30 years, studied with some great teachers and all that, but this book really hit a home run for me. Thank you for addressing language and rhythm and how it applies to the idiosyncrasies of the guitar. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it. You do not have to want to play like George Benson, in my opinion, to get a ton from this method. I was skeptical on changing my technique. I thought it would stifle me, but man, was it worth it. Incredible. Thank you so much. I can't wait for the next volumes.
Listen, the books are well written, full of information, totally worth it. Get those books. Also, the communities that are available. I mean, here's an opportunity for you to be with a bunch of different artists trying to study, trying to improve their craft. They're asking these questions, and Peter creates lessons around the questions, and you learn so much then. And then also, if you have an opportunity to take private lessons with Peter, please do that. I mean, we're talking about a prodigy. He was a prodigy who then studied with George Benson for 15 years. I mean, talk about passing the torch.
The method books are they're very valuable. I use the method books quite a lot, especially at the end of the day when I'm tired of playing and I just want to go over the concepts again. So anyways, thank you, Peter, for putting together an amazing method. I've progressed more in the last 3 months than I have in the last 3 years. And now I have enough to study for the next 15, I find.
It's not really just about chops. It's a lot really about musicianship and feel, musicality, rhythm. It's got a lot about harmony that's not your typical music school chord scale relationship sort of stuff.
Now, the information in the books can be augmented with video lessons from Peter, and I highly recommend those. They make the process of learning not only easier, but interactive as well, which is really valuable. I've been a student of Peter's for just over 1 year now, and I remember thinking maybe 1 or 2 weeks into the program that it was changing the way I saw the guitar fretboard and the way I heard things. And so it's taken me places I would have not been able to go by myself, for which I'm really grateful to Peter. I'd like to encourage all of you to consider embarking on this adventure for yourselves, as I'm sure you will not regret it, and hopefully you will find that the George Benson method will change your musical life as well.
I found in this method all the elements to master the jazz guitar technique I was missing: the right fingering, the right pick strokes, the concept invented by George Benson to get your bearing on the guitar neck, and above all, I found the musical concept that George used to produce his fabulous jazz improvisation. With all the information contained in this book, I have work to do on my guitar until the end of my life, and no doubt it will take some holiday homework to the afterlife.
This has been fantastic information that he's presented to the music community and to the world. It really gets you inside of George's playing and gets you understanding what he's thinking. And when you listen to the recordings and you supplement it with Peter's material, you really can hear that what he's presenting is the real deal. And it's just fantastic for anybody looking to develop their musicality, and guitar players and non-guitar players.
My friends, I hope you have gotten out of these studies that we put together for your benefit all the things that we wanted you to know. We are confident that they will be beneficial for you in the future. Continue to study your guitar. Use our methods. We hope that you enjoy what we put together for your benefit.